Hello, hello, back again in the Ark Royal, back from my short hiatus. We are fortunate enough to be top tier, and it's a double carrier game, which is not uncommon in the current metagame. We're on the map Ring, and the mode is Domination. Against a Furious and Ryuho. New Mexico Queen Elizabeth, so not too much in the ways of AA. The Queen Elizabeth actually has a pretty modern AA suite, so that could be annoying. The Pensacola might also be similarly irritating, but other than that, nothing of note inside the matchmaker. Top tier Ark Royal on a small map means that you're gonna feel a lot less of the discomfort of having low tier slow planes. So this should hopefully be a bit of a carry if I'm not too sloppy about it. Now of course there are unforeseen circumstances such as my team folding or my team rolling over them so fast I don't get to do anything, but we will see. So we just start out just spotting, screening against any DDs heading towards the decap, and we do in fact find the Fubuki on the edge of the AA bubble. For some reason he's turning out away from it. And we do find a Nicholas as well. Since the Fubuki is close to the Nuremberg, I'm gonna just bully him instead. And we'll come back for that Fubuki after. So just starting nice and simple with my rocket planes, spotting him out for my teammates. Looks like the enemy carrier did a flyby over my carrier hull. The Ark Royal does have a respectable anti-aircraft suite on her hull, in fact, so that is not an activity I would advise, given a good amount of lead. Still 2 planes left. Last gasp refilling my boost bar, touching the Pensacola AA aura briefly down to my last plane, so this is not really worth my time, but I do want to spot him and dissuade him from entering the cap for as long as possible. And we do get one last rocket, so given we're going after lightly armored targets, I'm going to make use of my, how shall we call them, cluster bomblets. So as I've iterated, 19mm of penetration and 2300 HE alpha per bomb. That puts us up to just about 700 damage per bomb. Now we do drop a lot of them. Okay, so both our DD targets are kind of close. So I might, in fact, hit this Pensacola. I'm spotted by those torpedo. Oh, there's the Fubuki actually. So he's heading for the smoke. Give him a nice lead of about 1 square. You can see where he's headed. Sorry about that frame stutter. He does sidestep, however, so he does dodge the majority of the damage. Pensacola has launched her fighter, and we are over the Queen Elizabeth, also fighter locked. See if we can't dish this payload before. And we do manage to get some nice superstructure penetrations onto the Queen Elizabeth, though as a result our planes are going to die. Well, surprisingly, we do actually get one of the last planes out, which is very surprising. I'm going to follow up with my Fairy Swordfish, if only to empty out the reserves. Looks like an enemy Ryuho dive bomber's headed this way. The Ryuho could go after either the QE, Leander, or the Alba. Looks like he's favoring the Alba based on his position, so I'm gonna do an incidental flyby. Drop a fighter. Since he's on the way anyway, I wouldn't go out of my way to do this, but since he's on the way, no harm. I'm gonna spot the Fubuki, so I know he just exited the cap based on the, well, cap ticking. My Furious appears to be going after the Bayern. I'm gonna take my time with this, see how he's maneuvering. Going pretty straight thus far, so we'll just start by bracketing him with some chase torps. Turn away from the Bayern's AA. He is outrunning our torpedoes. You can see the slow airspeed of the Swordfish, meaning that my turning speed is also extremely low. Let's see if I can't get this to line up. And if not, well, that's fine too. Nuremberg currently has a fighter up, which is why I'm not harassing him. Gonna move towards the cap. Enemy is focusing the north. Note that when everyone's running away, it is more difficult to hit targets. So I'm gonna shortly after this strike start focusing this front end of the enemy, which is coming toward us, which is obviously quite a bit easier to hit. I'm also gonna drop a fighter once we spot out the Nuremberg for my teammates, just to expedite the rate at which we kill him. So, just drop a fighter outside of the 5.2 range of his AA mounts, and that's to give a minute of spotting. Given he's not particularly going anywhere, this should be over quickly. And sure enough, by spotting him out for our allies, we do clean him up. Which means I can recall and switch back to the swordfish. This also secures my route into the north. And now, as I said, I can go after the head of the pack here, just to shorten my sortie time. So QE's over there, Pietra's over there. So we're gonna have to go after the Pietra, because his AA is worse. Fubuki turns back into my teammates for some god-awful reason. Looks like the Pietra just took a big hit. And Furious just launched torps onto him, so I'm expecting him to die. And he does. Now the Queen Elizabeth is reversing, so this may not be a great drop. So it does time out since we were intending on dropping the Pietra. And we fly over the QE, so now we're gonna have to hit this New Mexico. But that's fine. I have the reserves to sustain some losses. And I do somehow hit him. Maybe he accelerated. I hit the New Mexico with 2 torpedoes as well, which is nice. Now this Ryuho is ramming his APGPs into a large cluster of my allied ships, including myself, resulting in 2 plane kills for me. The fact that I'm detected tells me that the Fubuki is outside of the smoke, which means he's about to be in trouble. I'm aiming this way based on the direction of his nose at his last known position. Probably turn this way? Yep. And we do find him. So that's just using the detection bubble of my planes to figure out where he is. Gonna lead a fair bit here. Ooh, pretty unlucky there, considering how many bombs I just dropped on him. If he beaches himself to dodge out on my allies, that's fine. We'll slowly come about. Pressing down on the accelerator this time. And he's slowly reversing out, so I'm just gonna move right over him. And we should have him here. Nice and clean. Looks like my carrier has managed to beach itself. Gonna launch torpedo bombers. Looks like we still are fielding full squadrons. Rocket planes are full, but because of the anemic damage output, I'm not gonna use them unless I absolutely have to. That Nicholas that we were reversing earlier on has made it all the way over here, which is interesting. Queen Elizabeth has accelerated forward. But it looks like there's enough space between her and the rock over there that I'm going to be able to hit her. I'm gonna arm the drop, just outside of her AA range. Note that I have a long time to arm my torpedoes, thanks to Torpedo Bombers Modification 1. Oh, sorry, planes circling due to lag. And okay, that's disappointing that you didn't get to see that thanks to that ping, but she died. She was sitting still, essentially, so. Gonna lead New Mexico by a little bit. These might be a little too close, so they might not arm. Looks like I'll get 1 connection, but thanks to my fumbling, I'm gonna fail to arm them. Now that my carrier's off the rock, I will move it back forward. Pretty textbook game in terms of bullying, but as you can see, because I'm so far away from the action, I am having trouble getting good sortie time out. It's not to say I'm not doing that much. I do have 3 of our 5 kills, but could be doing more. People doing missions instead of playing the game. The classic. So planes are detected, which implies that something is spotting, which turned out to be the Igla. Don't have a perfect approach angle, but maybe some of the bombs will come out to the side, doesn't matter. Me spotting him for my Ismail does end up getting him killed. Ismail, however, which I guess was his target all along, does bite the dust, unfortunately, because of the close proximity. Nicholas is smoking, so we're going to remember where he is, roughly speaking. I'm going to arm my drop, if only to get my air defense. He's continuing to move forward, so I'm going to have to utilize my boost. Not perfect lead, but enough to kill him. That's scratch 4. Looking for my Kraken now, I guess. In terms of distance, the Furies is the closest target, followed by probably the New Mexico and then the Bayern. New Mexico, however, is with a Grilio Cesare, so it's slightly heavier AA. The Bayern, on the other hand, is kind of close to Furious, which means it might get interference from the air defense fighter. So as a result, I'm going to go after the New Mexico. Ryuho sinks my Queen Elizabeth. Not going to bother too much in terms of providing air defense for my cluster. They'll have to defend for themselves. Not exactly a profitable trip for me to make since I'm not attacking the Bayern. So we'll start by harassing New Mexico and hopefully... Oh, okay, looks like the GC is going to burn out before I can reach him, so we're going to continue to harass New Mex. Looks like a nice, perfect first drop. Damage not exactly the highest though, however. No thanks to our top tier status. No floods, unfortunately, thanks to the New Mexico's relatively decent torpedo bulge. Launch those and let's see if we can get some fires. They got a flood and another perfect drop, so we will see. Damage stopped ticking, so 20 seconds from now his damage con will be out. I'm moving forward in spite of being in the proximity of a Bayern, acting as a bit of a mobile AA mount. New Mexico turning back out. Gonna try and accelerate away, gonna pop an engine cooling consumable. I'm under attack, huh? I think that was the rocket planes. Do hit a flak, unfortunately. No wait, if possible. Oh, never mind. There's no waiting now. So I do get a fire. Hopefully it ticks. And gives me my Kraken. Don't kill steal this, please. Thank you. Now I'm still spotted by the Bayern, so we'll see if he shoots me or the New Mexico. Looks like he's shooting me because he's rude. Very rude. With that in mind, it's not going to take me 30 seconds to arm this drop, so I'm going to drop once, then launch my swordfish in case I die. Now the Bayern should be almost reloaded, so there are the shells downrange, so that should kill me, but it's fine. I've committed my hull to death. I should be able to get my revenge fairly easily. 3 torpedoes is more than 8,000. Someone is saying some rude words. Got a flooding. Oh no, this... Because I missed my last torpedo, someone might KS me, but whatever. Oh, never mind, I got it, see?
戦終了時間まであと5分です。最後まで気を抜かないようにしてくださいね。
Now I'm approaching the Riho after exchanging some kind words with my Nicholas. The game does time out, but of course I was going to approach from the north, and hopefully my allied Riho would absorb some of the fighters, and I could follow up after, before the fighter cooldown comes out. Pretty good game. 78,000, courtesy being top tier, of course. 17 torpedo hits, 49 bomb strikes, 9 planes shot down, 1 incapacitation, 6 kills, 3 fires, 3 floods. 3 fires for the floods is kind of low, but whatever. 8 spotting ribbons, 9 rocket hits, of course, as I said. After the initial scouting, I didn't want to reach for the rockets ever, and 5 planes interdicted by fighters, and we completed some of our missions. Nice. Team score-wise, not even top of the scoreboard. No thanks to just hitting battleships to farm most of our damage and not even dealing that much damage, but fair enough, whatever. 1700, I will take it. And if we go to the detailed report, you can see most of our damage came from Torpedo Alpha onto the 2 battleships, and then a little cluster bomblets and rockets here and there. But yeah, top tier game, pretty conservative, but it gets the job done, right? And just as a bit of a bonus, that should finish off our armory directives. So, I believe... Okay, I'm in the Hall of Fame, thank you very much. Can you not, please? So I guess it just rewards you a crate or something. La-di-da-di-da. Show me the Hall of Fame. So I got my premium ship container. Let's go over here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to go to. Let's go over here. Let's close this because that makes it less exciting. So this gives you a tier 6 premium. That's the anniversary reward for this year. And let's just open everything anyway, because it's much, much more fun that way. And we got ourselves a Molotov, some coal, some free experience, and some flags. So not bad. Molotov's a pretty spicy one. A fairly old ship, but a fun one at that. I guess we'll do some bonus Molotov review, just for fun. So tier 6 Russian cruiser. Note the very Italian looking turrets. These are, well, the design is relatively Italian inspired, and these are actually 180mm guns, same as those found on the Donskoy, or the Donskoy. So if you have a Donskoy captain or just a Chapayev captain, that should work just fine. In exchange for having high velocity 180mm rifles, however, we do have a atrocious 12.5 second reload time and a fairly slow turret traverse. HE damage is pretty whatever. AP damage, on the other hand, is quite good for the tier. Module wise, probably, I'm guessing spotter? Yeah, so the standard spotter plus Def AA or Hydro. Very squishy hull, you'll note. Good top speed of 36 knots, but in terms of hull, 28,000 is pretty low for a tier 6. Perspective-wise, the Hwanghae, which is a very low hit point, 24,000, and what's a beefy tier 6 cruiser? This is what happens when you sell all your tier 6 cruisers. Oh, I have a Decoras, which is like a pretty medium range tier 6 cruiser. Where's my Decoras? Decoras is 31,000, so the 28,000 of the Molotov, not particularly high. Top speed's good, but the rudder shift time of 7.8 seconds and 660, or 860 rather, sorry, is rather poor, so a lot of long straight lines in this one. But anyhow, that was the Ark Royal and my anniversary container. So we got a Molotov for our troubles. And that was that. Hope you enjoy. Cheers.